What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Katana versus the ODM gear and letting you know which mobility item I think is best after the most recent Fortnite update. As always, if you guys do find this video helpful or informative, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and comment down below which of these items you prefer. The ODM gear is from Attack on Titan, but it works very similar to the grapple glove from last chapter, and it has a lot of uses. It essentially has like an energy bar, and as you use it, you'll deplete the energy, but if you use it as just a pure mobility item, you can use it for like an insane amount of time before you run out of energy. It has a melee attack, which we'll get to later on, and this is where most of the energy will be depleted. Once you use the melee attack, that consumes a lot of energy. If you use it just as mobility, it doesn't really use that much. This item, it can come as floor loot, chest loot, or from the new Attack on Titan crates. These crates are spread across the map. I'll have an image on the screen now of where they are. I believe these crates have 100% spawn rate, but they don't have 100% spawn rate of the ODM gear. You're guaranteed at least one Attack on Titan item from these. You can get either the ODM gear or the Thunder Spear, or just both. I've gotten both out of them before. So it is really good chances of getting the ODM gear if you open these, but it's not guaranteed. Either way, it has a decent spawn rate coming as floor loot and chest loot and from this. So if you land at an area with these, you shouldn't have that hard of a time coming away from it with mobility, which is really nice because with the katanas, it seemed like the floor loot spawn rate of them was not great, and the sword racks, which were the guaranteed spawns, were only in the new biome. So if you didn't want to land in the new biome, if you wanted to land somewhere like Frenzy or Mansion or maybe even Shattered Slabs, oftentimes I would have a hard time getting a katana from some of those POIs. This is nice because it spreads some mobility around on the map, and even if you prefer the katana, having the ODM gear and having mobility is better than having no mobility. The melee attack, like I said, is what uses a majority of the energy. You can use this by hitting your aim down sight button while you're in air with this item, and this will use a lot of energy, but it'll dash you to wherever you're looking at the time, and you'll hit players for about 70 damage if you hit them, but it also does a lot of damage to structures. So if you have somebody camping a house and you know they're camping in there, you could just easily swing at them, use the melee attack, and destroy their structure. And a lot of time these players are like just awkward to fight because of how they're playing in the house, but if you destroy their house, they're much easier to fight. This will also work on bushes, trees, rocks, whatever. Like the grapple glove, you can take fall damage if you're in the sky and someone shoots you. So you have to be aware of this if you're using this item, to be like cautious about being way too high up, but you can also take advantage of this if you're playing against somebody who's using it too much and is too high up. If you shoot them out, they'll just take fall damage and potentially die. You just have to hit them while they're in the air, and this is, you know, a potential thing they have to deal with. With this item, you can't shoot until you land, similar to how the grapple glove was, and it does have a cooldown similar to how the grapple glove was. The cooldown seems much longer to me than what the grapple glove's cooldown was. So like if you've been using this item a bunch and you land or you get shot out, then you won't be able to use it again for like a period of time, and I feel like that's one of the main weaknesses of the ODM gear. Is the fact that you can take fall damage if you get shot out. You just have the long cooldown regardless, and the fact that you can't shoot until you land. With this update, they also changed the katana a little bit. They added the blue katana, which only has 2 dash charges. The purple one is still in the game, and it has 3 dash charges still, but it just seems like the blue one spawns much more frequently. Like most often I'm end up finding the blue one. You can still get the purple one from sword racks and floor loot, but I feel like the blue one is the most common that way. And the easiest ways to get the purple one are from hollow chests. If you find them in the hollow chests, they're still purple. The NPC that you can duel for the katana is still purple. And then the NPC outside Citadel that sells the katana still sells a purple katana. There's also a legendary katana that was leaked. It was added to the game, but it's not quite out yet. This one will have 4 dash charges. Like I said, it's not in the game yet, but it might be coming in the future. So if you're watching this video as of the time it's out, the blue one has 2 dash charges, the purple has 3, and the gold has 4. As of the time I'm recording this video, you cannot upgrade it at an upgrade bench, but I think that would be a really nice thing to do if they added it to the game. That way you find a blue one, it's unfortunate, but you can go and make it a purple one at the upgrade bench. I think that would be really, really nice. And you can carry both ODM gear and a katana, and that's actually what I've been enjoying doing most, I think. If I'm able to get the exotic Maven shotgun, I haven't really used it that much with the normal Maven, but if you have both ODM gear and katana, you have like the best of both worlds in that regard. But assuming you don't want to do that and you only want to carry one mobility item, I think it really depends what you want from your mobility. I think the katana is better in a fight mobility. If you just want to like move around during a fight, or if you want to push somebody, or you want to like reposition in a fight, I think the katana is better. I think if you want to get away from a fight, I also think the katana is much better, because when you're using the katana, you're just going and nobody can stop you. Whereas with the ODM gear, if you're trying to leave and someone shoots you, then they break your thing and it's on cooldown for like a period of time, and that's not great. I also feel like it's much easier to shoot someone as they're using the ODM gear than the katana, because the katana, the person kind of like teleports around, and you kind of have to know the trajectory of how the katana is to predict where they're going to go. Whereas the ODM gear is a much more like smooth animation. You can just kind of watch the person follow through it. And if you hit them at all, then you potentially cause them fall damage. But even if you don't, you put their mobility on cooldown. And this is potentially something that can get them killed in a fight. And I feel like a lot of players, especially in zero build, the main times you're using your mobility is to push people, or to potentially get away from somebody, or reposition when you're in a fight that isn't going your way. And the katana is just much better in the fight mobility. Whereas the ODM gear, if you wanted to get from like Shattered Slabs to Anvil Square faster, then sure, like the ODM gear would be better. But like once you're in a fight, and if all you're caring about is like how this item works in a fight, I think the katana gives you more options. It's also like easier to use in a fight. I think you just kind of look where you want to go. You don't have to worry about swinging or anything like that. But the ODM gear is very nice for pushing players because of that dash effect. If you beam somebody and they go behind cover, you could just do the dash attack on whatever piece of cover they have or whatever they're building in. They're in, and just like completely expose them. This works really well with the Maven just because of how chaotic the situation will be. And so far this update, I think my favorite loadout for zero build has been Red Eye, Exotic Maven, Katana, ODM gear, and heals. I think that's like very good. If you're able to get the Exotic Maven, you should have no problem like just mopping up a lobby with that loadout. For build mode, I think I've definitely enjoyed the Katana much more, because I don't have to worry about taking fall damage, and it's much better at pushing people or potentially like contesting high ground in a fight. Whereas like if you're in a build fight and you want to get down because you're way too high up, the ODM gear is questionable for that. If you want to try to like 50-50 the guy height, the ODM gear is much worse, I think, than the katana, unless you're trying to use the dash effect. But that is basically the most simple way I can put it. The ODM gear is better for getting around the map quickly, but the katana is better for repositioning in a fight and giving you more options for how you want to play a fight, and potentially responding to getting caught off guard and getting shot like while out in the open. Very similar to how I kind of thought about the game last chapter, when the grapple glove was in the game along with the shockwave grenades. I felt like the grapple glove was better for getting around the map, but the shockwaves were much better for repositioning in a fight or pushing people. And then the same was true of the Nimbus Cloud. The Nimbus Cloud was good, but I felt like the shockwaves were just easier to use in a fight, and like more like versatile in that regard, I guess. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I think both items are good. I'm happy the ODM gear is in the game, because one of my least favorite things about this season was that I felt like I had to land in certain areas to just get a katana and be able to play the game. But with the ODM gear, more mobility on the map is good. I've seen people complain that it just allows people to run away from them, but I think you shoot the person once and then their ODM gear is on cooldown. If I'm trying to chase somebody, I would much rather them be using the ODM gear than the katana, because if you hit one bullet, you completely like kind of leave them stranded wherever they are, and it should be much easier for you to clean up that kill. But let me know which one you guys prefer down in the comments below. I hope you found this video helpful and informative. If you did, remember to give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.